I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there seems to be themes that develop every week here on the channel. This kind of happens organically. It's not something that I plan out. For example, during the 2 weeks of the Olympics, we talked constantly about anti American athletes. I had no plans to even cover the Olympics until all that started happening. Throughout the NBA playoffs, we talked about tanking ratings and the media covering up for the NBA, basically lying about the ratings, claiming ratings were up, when if you looked at it objectively, NBA playoff ratings were significantly down. This week, the theme here on the channel seems to be the softening of the professional athlete. Earlier this week, we talked about Javi Baez and Marcus Stroman with the New York Mets, lashing out at their own fan base because they can't take criticism. Now, we're going to talk about Bryson DeChambeau. In the 2 years that I've been doing this, I don't know that I have ever talked about golf here on the channel. It's not because I don't like the sport. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. I love golf. Outside of the summertime, I play golf twice a week. I don't talk about the PGA because not much of consequence ever really happens. Rarely does the PGA make headlines. Our main focus here on the channel is woke politics infecting sports. That hasn't happened with the PGA. Golf is one of the few sports that have remained apolitical. But something happened this week with the PGA that I felt needed to be brought to your attention. It goes with this developing theme this week on the channel, the softness of the professional athlete. Over the past few months, a rivalry has developed between Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. Both are two of the biggest names in the PGA. Bryson DeChambeau is a polarizing figure. He has outbursts. He loses his temper. Trust me, I get it. I get it. Golf is incredibly frustrating. I can't tell you how many times that I've lost my temper on the golf course. Hit a nice drive, nail my second shot with a 7-iron, get to my wedge, slice the wedge shot, ruin my chance for par, and I want to toss my pitching wedge across the course. But when you're a PGA golfer and you conduct yourself like Bryson DeChambeau, you open yourself up to criticism and hecklers. It's part of the game. Remember when Tiger Woods went through that sex scandal 10 or so years ago? His golf game was affected by it. He went from America's favorite golfer to being relentlessly heckled and scrutinized. Tiger Woods lost his cool so many times on national television. But you know what he did? He kept going. He didn't go to the PGA and ask them to change the rules, ask them to regulate fan behavior. Now, I'm not saying that Bryson DeChambeau has done that, but what the PGA is doing is absolutely ridiculous. There's going to be a new rule implemented for the Tour Championship this weekend. What the hell? What the hell's one more rule, right? It's not like the PGA doesn't already have enough rules for their fans. No talking, no yelling, be quiet, no signs, no t-shirts, no fun. Now, no Brooksy. Yes, the PGA is banning the word Brooksy. If someone in the audience hears someone yell Brooksy at Bryson DeChambeau, they are encouraged to report this immediately so the fan can be ejected. Oh, how nice, how nice. The PGA encouraging their own fans to snitch on each other. Nothing says fun like a good snitch. Apparently they're doing this because Bryson DeChambeau is unraveling. He is struggling mentally with all the abuse from the PGA fans. He just can't handle it. We must do something to protect Bryson DeChambeau from these bastards. Like I said, I don't know if Bryson DeChambeau pushed for this or not. Several other golfers have actually come out publicly in support of him, saying they feel bad for him because the fans are against him. But if this is something that the PGA did of their own volition, they did not do Bryson DeChambeau any favors by doing this. You want to know the easiest way for an athlete to silence a heckler? Perform. Win. Fans in the Superdome in New Orleans, they are relentless towards the road team. It can get up to 120 decibels in the Superdome. The entire time the road team has the ball, they're on offense, it is loud. You can't hear the person next to you. That building can go from 120 decibels to 0 in seconds. Complete silence. How? The road team scores, shuts everyone up. You want to know how to encourage a heckler to become even more relentless? Show weakness by letting them know that they're getting under your skin. It's the same concept as the bully in school. The bully is all tough until he gets punched in the nose. The heckler's all loud until Bryson DeChambeau sinks a birdie. Then it's complete silence. He has no grounds to scream Brooksy anymore because you've shut him the hell up. Like I said, this new rule by the PGA, it does nothing to help Bryson DeChambeau. If anything, it just makes things worse. It makes him look like a pussy. But it gets even worse. Not only can you be ejected for yelling Brooksy at Bryson DeChambeau, you could also be ejected for wearing a t-shirt deemed disrespectful or displaying a sign with the word Brooksy. My question is, at least in terms of someone yelling, how do you enforce this? How are you going to enforce this? You have hundreds of people surrounding these golfers at any time. How in the hell is security supposed to pinpoint the one person that's yelling? What if it's multiple people? What if it's 100 people? What is the PGA going to do? Eject everybody? Here we are again with another sports organization trying to regulate speech, trying to regulate behavior, trying to regulate what is deemed acceptable speech. Look, we either live in a free society or we don't. I understand that the PGA is a private event, but people attend these events to have fun. If Bryson DeChambeau is so affected, if he is so thin-skinned that he can't handle Brooksy, then what the hell is he doing playing professional golf? Mentally, golf is the toughest sport. It's right up there with the UFC. If LeBron James is having a bad game, he has Anthony Davis that he can fall back on. If Tom Brady's struggling, he has 10 other guys on offense. He has a defense he can rely on. If Patrick Cantlay's having an off day, he's screwed. There is no one else. It's just you. What the hell is he going to do? Hand his 5-iron to his caddy? Tell him to take the shot for him? The PGA has been criticized for years for being too uptight, for making golf serious to the point where it can be boring. Remember the movie Happy Gilmore? How the PGA president, or whatever the hell he was all pissed off at the fans Happy Gilmore was attracting to the events? That's not far from the truth. The PGA wants a certain class of fan or person at the Masters or the Tour Championship, whatever. They are not marketing their product to the professional wrestling audience, the WWE audience. They don't want those people. They want the six-figure businessman. But at times, they take it too far. Last year, they kicked out some dude for asking Patrick Cantlay to sign his shovel. At the time, Cantlay had been struggling in the bunker, but it wasn't like the dude was disrespectful. He wasn't bothering him during play. Check out the video for yourself.
Hey Pat, sign my shovel. I'm going? Yeah. Alright. Let's go. Nice one, buddy. Over here. Okay. Oh shit. One idiot. What a fucking dumbass.
I mean, come on. Really? It doesn't get more innocent than that. Patrick Cantlay was asked about Bryson DeChambeau being tortured by fans the other day, and he's actually in support of this new PGA rule. He says golf is different than all the other sports because the fans are within contact of the players. Players can hear everything that they say. It can affect them mentally. I guess Patrick Cantlay has never watched the NBA. Guess he's never been to an NBA arena. Have you ever been to an NBA game? The audience is literally on top of the players. If you're sitting in the first 6 to 8 rows, You can hear the players can hear you. I'm all about being sympathetic towards the mental health of athletes, but that doesn't mean that everyone else should have to adjust their behavior because you're having a bad day, because you're struggling. If you struggle with mental health, being in the public eye might not be for you. These athletes today, they would have never survived 10, 15, 20 years ago. Remember when Pedro Martinez was constantly hit with "Who's your daddy" chants? Remember when Shaquille O'Neal was heckled every single time he went to the free throw line? What did they do? They didn't run to the commissioner. "The fans are being mean to me." They shut them up with their play. It's part of the game. Fans are going to heckle players. Get over it. All right, time to let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on the PGA trying to regulate Brooksie chants because of Bryson DeChambeau. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.